poems and one short poem. The first poem is about growing up in a garden centre in the Forest of Dean, where currently my parents are trying to deter a wild boar who keeps invading the shop by night and scoffing bird food, among other things. This poem is about other close encounters with wildlife, and it's for my dad. Rescues. Fallow deer caught in the boundary fence, fetlock trapped in the top straining wires, wind plucking her fur as my father squeezed wire cutters until they bit, freed her to bolt, streak into bracken. Barely their weight of the pipistrel, he scooped from the outdoor loo, as if a bit of night had torn away, wafted through. Their roost in the unused loft, tucking through the wrong hole, shadows in ceiling corners. Black fruits he gently unpeeled to show us wings laced with limb. House martin chicks, fledging early from the mud bowl of the nest, spit-wattled to rafter and wall, too keen to muscle for flight. Picked from gaps in stacked compost pallets, soft tickle on your palm, the texture of breath. Heartbeats batting his hand. There's nothing there, no weight in them. Same with anything that flies. His gloved hands click-locking a stepladder, placing them back in the wrong nest, hoping they'll be adopted. Birds, shrews, mice, pried from the white portcullis of the cat's teeth. Tiny bump of their pulse on his fingertips, thimble hearts pumping, final milliliters of blood. Black bathtub spiders, peeping legs through gaps in the tunnel of his thick, tan fingers. A fractured buzzard by Cannock Brook, cowled in a bath towel. His 3 daughters, calling to him from their cities, shrill the cry of the phone, his voice still brummy soft, saving us each time.
Rough. One evening, I took my teenage body beyond my step-parents' 5-bar gate to the sixth form college, where I'd grown a little more into my skin with Shakespeare, Chaucer, Eliot as friends, to the tennis court, where I curled up on a bench in my thin coat, slept, woke to sun backlighting the conifers across the churned up hockey pitch. A voice, wearing a mother's dress, persuaded me back. We almost called the police. Almost. The officer might have asked why I'd rather spend the night alone, sleeping rough, than be in bed at home.
So a Bristol poem that somehow manages to mix psychoanalysis, tension, relatedness, and a Bristol setting. It's called Victoria Park. The trees transfixed. The whole long line of lines parade through the park. Here they dug down, grew strong. Here and only here they homed in, lost or stuck to a last move. A black square this bold board, this open ground, this park on a city's hill. The game doesn't complete. It will always be your turn in your world. Always tea break, always unfinished. Life is paradox. The towering trees, the plum-pinned night, this slope of static kings, this world you walk through, never to be solved.
The first poem I'm going to read is inspired by seeing a young man, a young double bassist, bent double as he carried his instrument through the streets of Bristol, looking very much like a giant insect. So a couple of references to great jazz double bass players: Charlie Mingus, Charlie Hayden. You haven't got to be named Charlie to be a double bass player. And Scott LaFaro. Man with a double bass on his back. What kind of humpbacked, giant-mandibled creature is this when the city's locked in its midweek, midday business? Buses crammed in their bays, cars jamming the street, pedestrians paused at the crossing, waiting for the green. And here he comes, all tensile legs and fleet of foot intent, this armour-plated coleoptera, bent beneath his instrument. He weaves his way among them, as if he's following a labyrinth of string and risen from the underworld, rehearsing the captive beasts in his head. The subterranean Mingus rumble of his bow driving to and fro, the Haydn pizzicatos plucked like hooves across the frets, the Scott LaFaro melodies exhaling bestial breath between the bridge and scroll. And lo, the thorax swinging jazz scarab is loose in the streets, and no one's looking. Oh, dung scavenger, oh, burdened carapacial death watch, they avert their eyes at their peril when you're at large.